Developed by Vlambeer, starting from a game jam in 2013 as Wasteland Kings, Nuclear Throne ended up entering Steam Early Access that same year, exiting Early Access in 2015. And it fucking rules. So I imagine after that little clip show you can probably guess what the gameplay of Nuclear Throne is, but for those who couldn't quite parse, it's a top-down twin-stick shooter roguelite with an emphasis on fast-paced action. And I mean it when I say fast-paced. The whole game is practically designed around being as fast and chaotic as possible. You move fast, bullets move fast, enemies move fast, runs start and end just as fast. As an example, this is what I'm sure many people's first run looked like. You did not reach the Nuclear Throne. Nuclear Throne is ruthless. It doesn't pull any punches in pace and pain. You're granted 8 HP by default, which is about enough to survive 3 of the average bullets. Worth mentioning, you aren't granted any iframes here, so 3 bullets could hit you all at once, and you will just die. Of course, while you die fast, your enemies can die faster. If you become proficient in the large amount of weaponry offered, you're given an incredibly satisfying to use sandbox of loot and tools to demolish what stands between you and your throne. Your tools can range from a simple pistol or revolver to grenade launchers. Maybe you'll care to use a shotgun or some laser weaponry. However, once you reach later in the game, the weapons get cranked up to 11. Flat cannons, crossbows that shoot 5 bolts at once, Gatling bazookas. Maybe you'll partake in a nuke launcher. The weapon that stands above all in terms of being beyond over the top is the Super Plasma Cannon, which will fill your screen with corpses and plasma balls. You're also granted 12 characters to utilize, and 3 hidden ones, each with their own abilities. Nuclear Throne features 15 primary levels for you to battle your way through, and you may even, after many runs, make your way to the titular Nuclear Throne, in which this will probably happen to you. However, eventually, you'll best the throne, and you may even loop. Looping is where Nuclear Throne peaks. All that I've mentioned in regards to chaos and fast-paced action is blown away by what loops have to offer. Combat in a loop is a careful tightrope act of adrenaline filled with violence and staying acutely aware of your surroundings, dodging bullets, bodies, cops, and their vans. Something I failed to mention about Nuclear Throne is certain actions will attract the ire of the IDPD, which is the Interdimensional Police Department. Opening up crown vaults, special chests, or just reaching far enough in a run will have the Popo ambushing you constantly. They'll just teleport to your position and unload a barrage of bullets on you. And once you've looped, you'll have many squads of the police ambushing you and calling their vans full of squad mates to run you over. Dodging the inhabitants of the wasteland on top of the police is no small task. Many will feel overwhelmed by loops, and that's the point. Nuclear Throne is a game meant to make your adrenaline pump, then falter and leave you too tired to fight. The wasteland you fight in is the embodiment of this. The only option for survival is to fight. But no matter how much fighting and strength you have, everyone and everything gets tired eventually. This is where I have to talk about an aspect of Nuclear Throne that I can't emphasize enough. The soundtrack, composed by Yukio Kallio, is one of my favorite uses of music in media. Nuclear Throne would not be half of what it is to me if it didn't have the music it does. The variety presented in the music is incredible. An area I'd like to make a note of is Wyvie's Mansion. It features a rap song Yu-Gi-Oh! Made with another artist, Doswan. It fits Wyvie's character perfectly and does a lot to make the area feel extra unique compared to the rest of the stages. In fact, I'd argue all of the Secret Stages music do a lot to make them feel extra special. The Pizza Sewer's funky chiptune, the jungle's drums, and the crib's guns. It's not all intense though. There's an abundance of more somber, almost remorseful tracks, which aren't reserved for when there's no fighting occurring. One of my favorites that holds this is Lament of a Mother, which is a theme for the boss Mom, or I'm gonna call her Ball Mom. Generally one would presume boss music to be what I described earlier, intense, meant to pump you up. But Ball Mom has this sad hum, and even the most action-packed part of the track is pretty tame. This gives the player the most insight into Ball Mom. With the track sounding so sad, you realize that Ball Mom's entire atmosphere is just depressing. You don't feel good about killing her, but it's your only option. Another track that holds a lot of significance to me is the theme of the Nuclear Throne itself. It is a track that's designed to give you energy. It's your final obstacle before you can try to make things better in this world, at least for yourself. And the aggressive guitar keeps your inner pace up. But the vocals over it, this haunting chant, it reminds you of all the pain in this world. It reminds you of how many have died for you to reach this point. This isn't some triumphant stand. It's a sad reality of the way things are. But even then, the underlying guitar keeps you going, because no matter how bad this world is, and how tired you may be, you keep fighting. Every stage in Nuclear Throne obviously has its default music, which, as I've read about from Yu-Gi-Oh!, are actually designed to progressively lower in intensity throughout the run. This is to symbolize the tiredness of the player character, and, as he says, quietness underneath action can add a lot to the intensity. Anyway, my point here is that the 4 main areas of the game also have B tracks. And these B tracks are unlike the default songs. They're all very similar in tone and mood, some even share melodies between each other. They're calming, they showcase the struggle involved. They're grim reminders of the way things are, and they're testaments to your spirit for continuing on. The reason I'm focusing so much on the soundtrack is just, it's that good. I really like it, I need to gush about it. But I also want to call to attention both how talented of a musician Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, and how well he understands the themes and world of Nuclear Throne. Without the music, I don't think the general tone would come across even half as well. It gives every event its proper mood, and I feel like it's an aspect of the game I see discussed far too little. As I'm trying to convey, under all of the violence and action, Nuclear Throne is a game, to me, about a ruined world and the struggle of living in it. Fighting is everyone's only choice here. There's no peace for anyone here. The only chance of making things better for yourself, at least the one hope our player is given, is reaching the Nuclear Throne. By the time you reach the throne, you're tired. Everyone is tired. After lifetimes of fighting, all you can feel is tired. Nuclear Throne actually features pretty robust lore. You can learn about all the individual characters and bosses. But I think what makes Nuclear Throne special to me, you don't need to read the lore to pick up on the themes. I truthfully haven't read almost any of it. I don't know any of the intricate details. Just through the music and gameplay, you're able to pick apart what the game is really about. You see a broken world, the pain it brings, character relations, the struggles of losing others. You can just pick it up through the experience of playing the game. But deeper than the sadness of Nuclear Throne, there's something in it that makes you want to continue fighting. No matter how hard, no matter how tired, the player character continues fighting. This takes me back to that underlying guitar that's represented in the music. It always keeps pushing, pumping you up, ready to fight. I think it's no accident that Fish, who is arguably the main character of the game, plays a guitar. Fish is front and center playing the guitar in a lot of situations that feature the mutants together. He keeps the group motivated. He keeps them fighting, searching for the Nuclear Throne. I think it's damn impressive, honestly. Nuclear Throne is an easy game to write off as a thoughtless action junkie shooter, and by all means it succeeds at providing that. But what brings it above its peers to me is everything else it has to offer underneath the action-packed shell. Now, I guess I should talk about the actual end of the game. Spoilers if it wasn't obvious, the Nuclear Throne is actually not the final boss. The real final boss that is offered takes a bit of effort to reach. So, I mentioned before, while you're looping, the IDPD is ambushing you in full force, and most notably, they're sending vans at you. These vans are tricky. They kill in one hit while in motion and pack many cops inside of them. However, if you manage to reach one of these vans in motion without dying, you can actually hop inside of it and they'll take you to the IDPD HQ. Here you fight your way through more cops than anyone can handle, and after 2 stages of full-on police violence, you'll reach the captain. The captain of the IDPD is your real final boss. She's given this overbearing theme. It's full of intimidation. It also includes aspects of the Thrones theme, which is a thoughtful touch. After a nail-biting fight with the captain, you take a seat in her office chair, and the credits roll. The struggle is over. I also real quick want to make a side note about the fact that there is an entirely translatable language made for Nuclear Throne. It's called Trash Talk, and it's what all the mutants speak. This isn't a detail that most players would notice, but I think it's really cool, and it shows a lot of care from the developers. I just felt obligated to make a note of it because of how cool I think it is. Anyway, another video down. Nuclear Throne is a game I haven't stopped thinking about since I played it nearly 7 years ago. It's extremely good, and I definitely encourage any and all of you to play it. You know the YouTube call to action now, but like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. We'll see what video comes next.